Yeah, I'm glad you're doing it.
Did Superman beat Man of Steel domestic numbers? Because that's what we've been hearing, and doesn't matter.
I'll say this: it doesn't matter. But I will say that 2013 ticket prices are different than 2025 ticket prices, and if you go just based on the ticket sales, Man of Steel had more foot traffic, more people watched it than this movie.
Yeah.
So the question you have to ask yourself is, did it bring more people to the theater? Did it strengthen the fan base? And I just don't believe it did.
I've consistently said it's not a slam dunk. It's not a failure. And I don't even know. There's a way to frame the numbers where Man of Steel looks slightly better than Superman. Superman looks slightly better than Man of Steel. They're pretty close, really. It's not a slam dunk either. So this is why I'm not a fanboy anymore. Fanboys use this to frame their narratives on either side to make things
right.
Either way, it's comparable to Man of Steel to me. Like,
here's the question you have to ask yourself. Like, if it makes about the same money, it's like, don't you think that almost a decade later, or 2013 to 2025, don't you think it should do better?
I do, but
yeah. And it's not.
The superhero genre itself has beat itself into the ground for just above average movies. Great superhero movies
I agree.
do well. So it is a different environment. As much as people like to give cope and excuses for projects now, like, oh, it's completely different, it didn't need to do this. I will say, I do not act like a fanboy, Isaac. I am I am disconnected from all these fanboy wars. I don't care anymore. And it's going to help me be more objective in my content. But I say this, even if it was slightly less than Man of Steel, it doesn't matter, because what's happening right now, and I'm very shocked by this, is it seems to be doing better than Fantastic Four right now. I'm really curious as how Fantastic Four is going to do the second weekend. I thought Fantastic Four was going to blow it out of the water. The super fantastic everyone was trying to push on the people is not happening.
Fantastic Four is probably going to drop 60+% next weekend, but so is Man of Steel, or so is Superman. Superman's in single digits right now.
Yeah, but if if they try to go hard on James Gunn at Warner Brothers, the executives there, really all we really need to do is say, yeah, it beat Fantastic Four, and that's a win for them. And honestly, if you really go think about BVS, look at Grace Randolph's coverage of this. Feige really does sometimes pick projects to compete. So when he found out they were doing Batman v Superman, he did Civil War, Captain America versus Iron Man type of thing, two heroes clashing, some similar type of content. And that did, besides the backlash, that really did undercut what DC was doing at the time. And now it seems like DC is weathering the storm. I thought it was Fantastic Four was going to dunk more on Superman, but it's not happening.
All right. And this is where, because we don't have access to streaming numbers, right? We don't. Those are trade secrets. They're not telling people. They only tell people these made up numbers. We don't know really what's streaming. Peacemaker's not a hit. Neither is the cartoon. What's the stupid cartoon they did?
Creature Commandos, I don't think was a hit at all.
It wasn't a hit.
My friends like Joe, Crazy Joe, that might be the real RJ in the chat.
No.
He seems to say, I don't know where are you getting these numbers. I'm like, I don't hear anyone talk about that. I mean, I don't have all the specific numbers in my head. It just is not being talked about a lot at all anywhere.
Well, let me give you a little bit of history, okay? When I was working on Swamp Thing, and my wife was a producer's assistant on Swamp Thing. We were both working on Swamp Thing, the series that got canceled. They had launched the DC Universe app. Remember the DC Universe app?
I had it, yeah.
Okay, you had it. They were spending, I think they spent $84 million making the 10 episodes or whatever. It was originally supposed to be 14, 15. They cut it down to 10, rewrote the last couple of episodes. they only had when you hear numbers of subscribers, Disney Plus has 150 million, the HBO Max has 125 million, 150 million. That DC Universe app had 160,000 subscribers. They had Titans in production at 4 million an episode. They had Stargirl in production at 3 million an episode. They had Swamp Thing in production. They were spending so much money, and only 160,000 hardcore fans signed up for that app.
It wasn't promoted well, or it didn't seem like a value. Yeah.
And what happened was, because that tanked and they thought they were going to be like Netflix with that app, they ended up folding that into what we have today.
Mm-hmm.
And what I'm trying to tell people is, you may have 150 million people subscribed to HBO Max, but they're all not DC fans. Okay. So if you've got people literally subscribe to HBO Max just because they want to watch Friends, because all the seasons of Friends are on there, or you got people that want Game of Thrones, or people that want Sopranos, and the people aren't clamoring for DC content on that platform. They're not. And if
Batman,
the DC,
yes, but that Batman goes beyond
but
DC.
there's no Batman right now. It's over. Batman haven't put out a movie in years, right? So, and my point is, if you had only 160,000 hardcore people that signed up for that DC Universe app, and let's say they were all allowed to roll over into HBO Max at the time, and they gave them all a free year, didn't they? Did they do a deal like that with you when they got rid of that app? They were supposed to have given a deal to everybody. So everybody had HBO Max for a year because they were like, well, this didn't work. So my only point is I do not believe anything coming out of HBO Max's or Zaslav or any about the numbers of DC fans. And point of fact, nobody showed up for any of the last 5 DC films. They all tanked at the box office. People don't care about the DC property.
Well,
they don't.
You know, I know there's a lot of fandom wars within DC, and keep that shit out of here. I don't want to even get involved with it anymore. But they have divided their decision making, regardless of what they have divided their own fans and put each other's in groups of which thing they like. They haven't handled the legacy of their actor talent or anything at all.
No, I agree. But beyond that, Shazam 2, Wonder Woman 1984, all these movies it didn't matter that they didn't announce that, up until Black Adam, everyone thought Henry Cavill was coming back. They thought that universe was going to keep going. Nobody showed up for any of those movies. They all tanked the box office.
Well, they don't have I believe it's because the fans don't have confidence they're going to finish anything, or fault. They show no confidence.
I believe that the unlike Marvel, the DC fandom is very niche. It's small. It's fucking small. That's what I'm trying to say. And I don't believe it's going to fix it going down the road, because again, Peacemaker is all about fart jokes and third grade humor. It's the same thing that they put, Superman is Peacemaker light. And what I'm trying to tell you is,
this is where I disagree with you, Sean, because it is, but that's what's popular right now.
No, popular with who?
The younger generations, the ones that the demographics.
It's not there. It's not there. It's only in your mind.
Okay.
You can't prove that.
All right.
You can't quantitatively prove that.
I do think
that's an assumption.
Okay. Probably. Yeah. I do think even though I like Fantastic Four better, which I don't think you like that one either. I was disappointed.
I thought it was good. I didn't think it was great. I thought it was good, but it wasn't great.
I think Superman's a more fun watch to just have fun with, not take it seriously. That's the only way I can enjoy it.
Not take it seriously.
Yeah, no, right. As a Superman movie, it's my least favorite. Yeah. No, I like it better. I like it better than Superman Returns. Superman Returns is boring, even though the action sequence in there.
But my point is your perception of it's silly. It's just, I take it that is the perception of this movie. It's not going to have legacy. It's not as
timeless.
It's not going to have legacy legs. It's not going to be. You're not going to look back on that and go, "Oh, that's just as memorable as Christopher Reeve." It's not.
Right.
It's garbage.
Hey, Anthony's here. I wanted to get to Vince's comment here. Creature Commandos was great. Are all y'all fans of anything? Do just go online and talk box office at XYZ isn't hit. Vince, fair enough. And I love you, Vince. Thanks for stopping by. But if you think about even people that like Creature Commandos, no one was talking about that. Barely anyone was talking about it after it aired.
And they spent $5 million per
we talk about
episode
Superman
on Creature
every day.
Commandos.
We at least talked about Peacemaker for a while. Everyone just, Anthony's here. Anthony, did you care much about Creature Commandos after it launched? Didn't seem to make
it was just very weak writing by James Gunn. It's just hopefully with the second season he's not involved with that. They brought brand new writers for that. Thank you. But like there was only
so big.
There was
Why
only
do I
one.
look so
There was
big?
only 2 episodes I like in that show, and that's it. Other than that, like it wasn't good. And that you could tell that was like James Gunn, like he was burnt by that. But on that, hopefully the second season is better in that show whenever it drops. Okay. It just wasn't a good product. But I enjoyed Superman. That was that was good. But other than that, like Creature Commando was like okay, it's whatever.
Hey,
because Creature Commando was supposed to be a DCEU project.
Yeah, Samir member for
put on the DCEU. Yeah.
Remember for 27 months says, "Oh, look, Sean giving more nonsensical takes on Gunn and DC Studios." Hey, look, Samir, Sean is respected on YouTube. He just comes to the he doesn't like to sit in a bubble, and he goes to where people. There's not a lot of people that you look at his videos. Some of your review blew up. I think it did really good. So there's something there if people were watching his review.
And the analytics on that video that has 39,000 views, 90% agree. It's 90% thumbs up. It's like, so if 39,000 people watch the video and it was this and the watch time, because that was a long video, dude, it's almost to the end on the watch time. But people were agreeing with me on that. But then you
but you go outside your bubble to talk to people, and you don't, but they weren't just Snyder Bros on your comments, were they?
No, there were a lot of normies on my page going, I don't know what I just walked out of. There were a lot of normies. But but then when you look at the Fantastic Four review, it only got 1,600 views, and everybody was like this on it. They didn't like my views on Fantastic Four, and I don't think I was hard on Fantastic Four. I just said it was good. It wasn't great. My buddy was sitting next to me, fell asleep in the second act. Had to do like that. Wake him up. Fell asleep.
Yeah. Joe says, what do we have here? Another Kathy sucks bitch fest. And I will say to you, Joe, we are now in the Mandalorian and Grogu beginning promotion phase. Superheroes, the last one debuted last week. George Lucas was at Comic-Con for a monumental moment where he's announcing his museum, the first time he's at Comic-Con, and they are starting to promote this. And I'm just letting you know, I'm not bitching on Kathy, but I've seen this play before and this is why I say it would be better if she left and someone fresh came in, because you get a fresh slate of announcements. So what you're hearing now is a bunch of PR that everything is still happening. So in case Mandalorian Grogu is a success, it greases the wheels for other projects. But they're like, the Taika Waititi's still happening. Ray's going to go into production. Based on their track record, not just my opinion, the track record of getting projects started that they announced that are more on the Kathy end than the Favreau-Filoni end, because there is a differential there. Half the time with Kathy announces that it gets done. Majority of the time with Filoni and Favreau are really involved in either the TV series or the movie it gets done. So the main job they're doing now this is why you're hearing all the news come out at the same time. Taika Waititi's talking about his project that no one talked about, everyone thought was done. The Ray movie's going to go into production at the end of 2026. So I hope it does. Except
because I've been saying for years, Taika Waititi's movie is Rebels. Filoni needed to establish all the characters and did so throughout Ahsoka. Then he's going to hand the characters over to Taika to do the Rebels feature film. I've been saying this for years, and there's a lot of naysayers out there and people that's what's happening. That's what's happening. He when he first got it in his hands to do it, when it went into development, that's when Filoni was like, oh, wait a second. I want to do Ahsoka, and I can bring in these characters and I can play with them and get them established in the live action canon, and then you can go do your movie with them. That's what's going down.
Well, the only one I hope doesn't, I would even like Ryan Johnson to come back before Taika Waititi, because I think
he's never coming back.
If you talk about like jokey jokes, that's Taika Waititi to me even more than Gunn. Gunn is a lot more watchable than Taika Waititi when he does the same thing.
But the Taika Waititi jokey jokes, if you will, play better with the Star Wars Rebels characters than it would anything else, because it would be more like Guardians of the Galaxy because of how Chopper plays off this, that, and the other and everybody, and that it's a different dynamic. It's more of a Guardians of the Galaxy dynamic, which plays to those jokey jokes. But if you were to say you're going to give Taika Waititi like a Darth Vader standalone film, I'd be like, whoa, wrong guy. But Rebels works perfectly.